Genesis of Sirius. In 2168, humanity did what was once thought impossible. They reached the stars. Not just reached them, they took them into their hands. The Solaris project became the symbol of a new era where humans and the cosmos were united not only by technology but by consciousness. Scientists developed quantum modules that allowed human consciousness to be transferred into other bodies. And that body could be the cosmos itself. Aboard the spacecraft Astral, the first successful conscious transfer was made over a distance of 4 light years. Dr. Ilana Ray, one of the leading engineers of the program, became the first to transfer her consciousness into an observatory on another planet, exploring unknown worlds. However, during the subsequent trial, something went wrong. Ilana didn't return. She vanished into the black void, and no one knew what happened to her. 5 years passed. After Ilana's disappearance, the Solaris project was frozen. Meanwhile, a small group of researchers continued to work on perfecting the technology. Among them was her brother, Luca Ray, also a scientist, but specializing in biotechnology. Luca couldn't forget his sister and decided to take an unexplored step, to try to find Ilana in space itself, in the place where she had vanished. But for this, he needed not only to launch a new experiment, but also to build a new ship, based on ancient technologies found on a deserted planet. On this planet, scientists discovered artifacts, which became the foundation for the ship's creation. These artifacts were ancient, but had the ability to collect and store the energy of stars and consciousness. Luca was ready to risk everything to find his sister and uncover the secrets hidden beyond the known universe. After several years of preparation and tireless work, Luca and his team managed to complete the project. The new ship, named Astra II, was ready for launch. It was equipped not only for deep space travel, but also for creating gates for consciousness, through which minds could be transported to the farthest corners of the universe. Together with his team, Luca set off to the same sector of space where Ilana had disappeared. They passed through the black void, where light disappeared and space itself distorted. However, when they crossed the boundary of unexplored worlds, something strange happened. The ship was surrounded by a pulsating light, and the team saw ancient structures in the sky, artificial objects, as if created millions of years ago. Arriving at the center of this cosmic maze, they discovered that Ilana's disappearance was not a coincidence. She hadn't simply vanished, her consciousness had been sucked into this maze, becoming part of a network of ancient entities that used alien forms of existence to store information. These entities had long since lost their bodies and existed only in the form of consciousness. They were living stars, absorbing minds and memories. It turned out that Ilana was the key. Her consciousness was connected to the ancient network and could help awaken new forms of life in this area of space. Luca and his team learned that the stars were not just burning. They had their own consciousness, their own history, and their own purpose. These stars were part of a vast network created by an ancient civilization capable of manipulating time and space. Luca realized that they had arrived at the true center of the universe, where all living things could be rewritten and rebooted. But in order to find Ilana and bring her back, they had to do the impossible, connect their minds to the ancient network and become part of it. Luca, gaining clarity, decided on the final step. He would transfer his consciousness into the heart of a star, into the very essence of the cosmos. He stood before Ilana, but her consciousness was so entwined with the network that she could not return. He realized that there was only one way to bring her back: sacrifice himself, become part of the network, and thus return his sister. Luca and Ilana were consumed by the pulsation of the star, but now they existed within it as part of its consciousness. They became guardians, part of the universe, and for them, there was no concept of time or space. At that moment, they realized that their existence was now universal memory, which would be passed from star to star. They had become part of something much greater than human perception. The understanding of eternity, infinity, and the power hidden beyond the confines of reality. Now they were living stars, eternal guardians of everything that had been created and everything that was yet to be created in the distant future. And their journey, which began with the desire to find a missing person, had now become the beginning of an entirely new path for all of humanity, a path to infinite consciousness.